What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Probably Lost YouTube channel. My name's Trey.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are in the second largest city in the country of Slovenia, a city called Maribor. Now, this isn't the biggest city in the world, which in my opinion is a good thing. That means that there's not an overwhelming amount of things to see and do here, but don't be fooled into thinking that it's not worth a visit. It definitely is, and we're about to show you why. Ready to get this started?
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Per usual, we're starting the day with a local cup of coffee, and this one was kind of perfect because it's called Rooster Coffee. You know, you wake up in the morning when the rooster crows, you know, kind of, it's perfect. We both got the filter coffee, and it looked like they had a bunch of different filtered coffees from all different places around the world. He told us we both have Ethiopian coffee.
Ooh.
So, yeah, give it a try when it cools down because right now it's gonna burn my mouth. We're going to give a huge shout out to Uncle Pete who bought us these coffees through our Buy Me a Coffee page. I think he would want us to buy some sort of celebration drink or celebrating the morning, but we want to give a huge shout out to him, and we can't wait to see you in a few short months, so thank you so much, Uncle Pete.
All right, coffee's in hand. It's time to dive into Maribor.
It's the little things that just like get me when we go visit places, and this is hilarious.
They put, oh my gosh, they put like
Googly
eyes on the...
Oh, it's so good.
Now, like most cities in Europe, the square in Maribor is going to be the jumping off point if you're going to see this city. The main square, locally referred to as Glavni Trg, is surrounded by colorful historic buildings with facades that showcase a mix of architectural styles, including Baroque and Renaissance influences. The square dates back to the 13th century when Maribor began emerging as a major commercial center for the region. At the heart of the square is the Plague Column. This monument was erected as a memorial to thousands of people here who succumbed to the large plague outbreak in the 17th century. The monument was originally built shortly after the plague concluded, but was entirely made of wood. The version you see now was created in 1743, and honestly, it's one of the best monuments of its kind that I've personally seen anywhere. This square as a whole is a vibrant hub with outdoor cafes, shops, and occasional events, creating a lively atmosphere for both locals and visitors.
It's not necessarily bustling right now, and I imagine that has something to do with the construction behind me and also the fact that it's kind of winding down tourist season. It's a little bit chilly out, but I imagine during the summer this is the place to be.
Our next stop is nearby, and if you know us or you know this channel, then you know we can't pass up seeing a good cathedral. Officially known as the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist, Maribor Cathedral has origins all the way back to the 12th century. It's a blend of Gothic and Romanesque styles with a bell tower as its centerpiece that you can climb up for aerial views of the city. Now, we'll say the Maribor Cathedral isn't the most imposing or the most impressive cathedral that we've seen in Europe, but it honestly feels the most authentic. It feels like it's just kind of been untouched through time. Like, I imagine the interior of that church is basically kind of the same that it's been since probably the mid-19th century or so.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful. It's straight to the point. There's not a whole lot of grandiose or gaudy things in there. It just feels very authentic.
It's like a church that churches, you know?
Yeah. Well,
That's the way to say it.
It works.
It's a church that actually churches. For example, the Glasgow Cathedral. It's hard to imagine a service going on in there, whereas here I can imagine a service happening.
Without question. It definitely feels extremely authentic and no frills. This is what you get. And I like that about it. I really do.
I gotta be honest, guys. This Rooster Coffee is really waking me up this morning. I'm trying to remain calm, but I'm super pumped to be here in Maribor.
Ethiopian coffee is not weak.
It's hidden.
Oh. Okay, so our next stop is Castle Square and Maribor Castle. And I'm not gonna lie to you, not gonna beat around the bush. It's not the castliest castle that we've ever seen but it is a castle, and we're gonna go find out why, or how, or I guess what makes a castle. Because evidently, this is a castle. Maribor Castle is referred to as a castle due to its historical function and architectural characteristics. While the term castle often conjures images of towering fortifications and defensive structures, the classification of a building as a castle can vary. In the case of Maribor Castle, it possesses features that align with the historical use of castles. Its history dates back to the 15th century, and over the centuries, it served various purposes, functioning as a fortress, a residence for nobility, and an administrative center. I gotta be honest, the castle is fantastic. It's €8 each to enter, which might sound kind of steep, but I had a guided tour and it was fantastic. I learned so much, and I keep saying fantastic, but it was genuinely fantastic.
One of the original statue is actually in there too. So that one that we saw in the square earlier was not the original.
Yeah, the angel at the top of the plague column isn't actually the one from like the 1750s or 1740s. The original one is in the castle on display, and it's really interesting because you can kind of see the gold-plated side of her when she's like got her arms folded. So anywhere that didn't get exposed to the elements, you can still see the gold there. It's just really cool. I highly recommend it if you're ever in Maribor. Now, we're gonna walk a little bit outside of the direct city center and go see the park, because Maribor City Park is the outdoor space, if you're looking for outdoor space here in the city.
One really cool thing about this park is it has like a aquarium terrarium, I think I'm saying that right, inside, and there's like snakes and some different kinds of fish. We don't have time to do it, but apparently it's €5 to get in, and I know Trey would love to go in, but we got some other things to see, so we gotta keep it moving.
So our next stop is a bit of a grind to get to, but supposedly, according to everything that we've read online, the best view of the city of Maribor from above is from Pyramid Hill. But you gotta earn the view. So that's what we're doing right now. And I hope it's worth it, because this is not a short climb. In fact, it's the opposite of short. One would call this long, but that's okay. We're gonna make it. We're gonna take you up there along with us. I'm rambling. I'm just gonna keep walking.
We should have done this morning when I was cold.
I know.
I'm not cold anymore.
No, I don't think there's a oh gosh, there is a shortcut.
I think we take the shortcut.
Hey, you can take the shortcut.
Okay.
I'm taking a long, safe, wide route. Goodness gracious. I think we're at the top.
I think so.
I think we made it.
Or at least really close.
Oh, there's the chapel. All right, we have made it up to the Pyramid Hill, and it only took about 386 meters of a climb to get here, but it's totally worth it already. This hill once had a castle sitting on it, but that castle burned down in 1528. About 30 years later, it was rebuilt in a Renaissance style and stood until 1790 when it got torn down. They subsequently built a stone pyramid up here with some of the building materials that remained. So that's why it's called Pyramid Hill or Pyramida. The pyramid's gone now, but one thing that's still up here is a small chapel with a stone statue of Mary that was built in 1821.
This view, y'all. This is crazy.
All right, no rest for today, no snap today. Instead, we are going to go down into the center of the city before the sun sets. Now, I know it doesn't look like it's about to set, but where we're going, it's down in between a ravine and on the other side of a mountain that the sun's gonna set over, so we're kind of at a race against time. I'm rambling, let's go. So Maribor's main square and Maribor Cathedral and Maribor Castle are all very important parts of Maribor's story. But if you want to talk about Maribor's story and the importance of this city, then you really can't understate the influence and the impact and the importance of our next stop. Maribor's long served as a majorly important city for the region, and that's due to its position along the Drava River. You really can't overstate the Drava's importance. For centuries, it was the primary route for trade and transportation of goods, which enabled Maribor to become a significant trading hub.
We're headed down to the riverfront now, and our only goal is to not get attacked by swans. Gotta get the shot.
Oh, the river is just mirror-like today.
It looks like our goal is going to come to fruition because the construction has scared away all of the swans. There's none. I don't see one. We were down here yesterday and there was at least 50.
Yeah.
So I don't know where they went.
Maybe not 50, but like 15.
No, 50.
One way that you can enjoy the river today is to walk on either side of it. Thankfully, there are two paths alongside the riverfront that you can take. One's more green. It's on the other side of the river from where we are now. Or if you want to kind of fight through the construction, if you're here during the construction, then you could walk over here. Hopefully this will be done in the next year or so because it looks like it's getting ready to wrap up. It's going to be beautiful once it's done. So make sure to come down here if you're ever in Maribor and enjoy these views because they're really great.
If you don't already know this, Maribor loves their wine and is really well known for their wine. There's actually a joke amongst locals that you can get drunk just by sniffing the local air. We've not gotten to that point yet, but there's still plenty of time left in the day, I guess. Nearby the riverfront, there is Old Vine and Old Vine House, which is a must-see when you're in Maribor. Meet the Old Vine of Maribor. This vine has been growing here for 450 years, which, in case you didn't know, is a world record. Literally, they have the oldest vine in the world, and they've got the Guinness World Record plaque to prove it. This thing has withstood the test of time, from plagues to wars to fires, and still lives to tell the tale. It actually still produces grapes today that are fermented into about 100 small bottles, but unfortunately, they're only given to special guests of the city, which kind of makes sense. The Old Vine is attached to the Old Vine House, which dates back to the 16th century and currently houses a small museum dedicated to, you guessed it, wine. I'm kind of hungry. Are you hungry?
Yes.
Let's go get some food.
Tonight's dinner is not traditional Slovenian food. If you're interested in us trying that, then go and check out our Ljubljana video from last year that we filmed, where we did have Slovenian food. Tonight, we're basically going to like a burger and steak place, but the reason why is because it is highly rated online. It's like one of the most popular restaurants here in Maribor, so figured it was worth a shot.
And it's local. You know,
Yeah.
It's not like we're taking in McDonald's or something.
Exactly. Although there are worse things in the world.
Oh, okay.
All right, we are at a place called Jack and Joe's Steak and Burger Club. This is like the most highly rated place in all of the city, which is surprising because it's not technically like a traditional Slovenian restaurant, but it's got an English menu, it's got some good tunes, it's right on the river. You can't really beat it.
All right, so I went with the pulled meat platter, and I got chicken and pork. It comes with fries and like some dipping sauces. And then Trey got a steak that is Slovenian. I don't think it specified what kind of cut.
No.
So a Slovenian steak with a baked potato, which is something that he's been craving for a long time. So this is turning out to be like one of the best meals ever. And then we both got a local beer. So
I'm so excited for this.
it's gonna be so good.
Thank you.
Thank you. This smells incredible.
Oh my god.
What?
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know where to begin.
I don't either.
I got some beer left. I'm stuffed.
I'm
That
stuffed,
food
too.
was so good.
It was fantastic.
I know that we talked about wine earlier and we both got beer for dinner. There were a few wine options, but we didn't really know what was local, so we did find a place though, here on the waterfront, where we're gonna grab a glass of wine because that's what you gotta do here, so we'll do that next.
Hello, Old Vine. Hello, one of these places that's going to serve me wine.
We found a really vibey cocktail bar on the water. And
One of like two places open.
we're not getting cocktails, we're getting wine.
As we've said multiple times, Maribor absolutely adores its wine. This is seriously a huge wine country in Slovenia and a really bustling, growing area for wine throughout Europe. This city loves wine so much that it actually has two statues in the city of Bacchus, who is the god of wine. So it's gonna have to be good wine, right?
Perfect.
Amazing. Cheers.